probably best in slot everything for the Atonement set, okay? So best in slot everything as far as I know it for Atonement. Obviously, I need to change back to a sword in order to use Atonement, so let me just make that quick swap again. Oh, by the way, Prowin's not that bad, so if you want a cheap shield, get Prowin. I won't show you that much stuff with Prowin because I have Aegis, but, you know, HP set, technically Prowin's better for the HP set. It's best in slot for the HP set, but you lose TP when you blink into it. So that's why I don't make that swap, going back to the HP set that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so Atonement. When you finally become a Mythic Paladin, you will have access to Atonement, and you will be using Atonement, and it will allow you to have Aftermath. A couple of notes about Atonement, okay? So you don't have to waste your time researching it yourself. Atonement is a weapon skill that has a base damage. It can only be improved with weapon skill damage augmentation, okay? More or less, that's what's going to happen. Some monsters have different resistances to Atonement, so the damage will look different. From what I've seen with my gear choices, my Atonement hits for 2,025 damage maximum, unless it's some freak mob that allows me to hit for like 10k Atonements, okay? But 2025 is the Atonement damage that you would expect with this exact set of gear and this exact Paladin, okay? So that said, let me show you the gear choices. HP, because there's no weapon skill damage augmentation ammo in the game for Paladin, okay? Because the only thing that you actually have is Snob Carry, and Paladin can't use that, okay? So that explains the HP slot there. I love it because blinking into a set of weapon skill damage augmented gear allows me to lose HP but also gain it back because of the gear choices I made. So I keep the HP the same. Done. All right. So what do you have here? Don't have weapon skill damage augmentation in this slot because I don't have the Ishvara earring that you would need to actually improve weapon skill damage. If you have Ishvara earring, it will improve Atonement damage. It's the best in slot for Atonement. So if you want to dedicate an inventory slot to get the Ishvara, go out and get it. It's not hard to get. But for me, I like to multi-purpose stuff, and 2% is not a big deal, so I don't do that. Right, 2% of 2,000 is not that much, guys. So I use HP stuff, just like my HP set. Next slot. Why am I not using Fosha? Hello. It says accuracy and damage, latent effect. Latent effect is the key word here, you guys. It does not work on Atonement. I can explain why. I have already done that in previous videos, but just really quick. The latent effects on the Fosha pieces, the neck and the belt, only affect elemental weapon skills. Elementally aligned weapon skills of a physical nature and or of a magical nature. So Sanguine Blade would technically be affected by this, but you would rather have a magic attack bonus. Just trust me on that. Requiescat would be affected by that. Let's look at some of the other weapon skills. All of them, Flat Blade, Red Lotus Blade, those are magic. I believe this is a stun magic, maybe magic, but I know this one's a magic. Fast Blade, this is a light-based physical weapon skill, so and it has Scission properties. So you see that these different weapon skills with these different properties. Look at Atonement. See how the skill chain attributes are listed? Atonement does have skill chain attributes. And you can see it has a white flag next to it, so you would expect it to be some sort of light-based or something similar to that, but it is not. It is the only sword weapon skill in the game that is like the way it's the way it is, and it is a mythic weapon skill. I don't need to say any more than that. Your entire set of mythic weapon skills are different from everything else in the game, because the mythic set is supposed to be different from everything else in the game. It's by design, that's what it is. So Atonement is breath damage. That's the only sword weapon skill in the game that deals breath damage. And because it deals non-elemental breath damage with the skill chain attribute fusion and reverberation, it doesn't actually constitute in the Fosha set as a elemental weapon skill of some kind, because it specifically deals non-elemental breath damage. Non-elemental being the key words there. So that's all I have to say about that. That explains why I don't use the Focus set. Because if you're not familiar, the Focus set is built out of other pieces of gear, 8 of them to be specific. They all say latent effect when using the specific elementally aligned weapon skill, then I will do bonus damage. That's what they say. So the Focus set says, let's combine all 8 of them into one. Now if you use any of the 8 elemental weapon skills, there you go. But non-elemental breath damage on Atonement. Non-elemental. It's non-elemental, so Focus doesn't work, okay? It just doesn't work. Don't use Focus set with Atonement. Don't. You'll look stupid if you do that. So in those slots, you either use weapon skill damage, not a latent effect, which doesn't exist, in those 2 slots anyway, or you use HP. So you can see I'm using my HP set there. In the belt slot, I'm also using my HP set. Done. Rings. You either get your Seekers of Atonement missions completed, and you get your Seekers of Atonement ring that has weapon skill damage, or you do without, because those are your only 2 choices. I decided I wanted a different ring from Atonement, so I don't have a weapon skill damage ring. That's fine. I believe the one that I'm referring to is Kishar ring or something like that, and it's 3 extra weapon skill damage. It would be great for Atonement, but I'm not going to go back and get it. It's just not going to happen. So that one plus Ishvara, that's an extra 5 that you could tack on here to technically be best in slot, but it's inventory consolidation at that point. And so I'm going HP in these slots. Done. I'm comfortable with the damage that I do with Atonement, so I'm not going to actually improve. But you could improve if you wanted to, if you made those changes. So let's look at the 5/5 slot. Obviously, you could get a Dark Matter Augmented helmet that has weapon skill damage. I have not received one yet, so I'm using HP. Done. Moving on to this slot. This has HP, and it also has weapon skill damage. It's a really good choice. You could either do Odyssean or Valorous or a combination, as I said before, for a set like this. So the same goes for the Odyssean gauntlets. Weapon skill damage plus weapon skill damage plus HP. You don't need anything else. That's it. So moving on. Valorous hose. Double attack doesn't matter. None of these stats matter other than HP. Accuracy doesn't matter. You can't miss with Atonement. You can deal 0 if they have like stone skin up or they're immune to breath damage, but you can't miss, okay? Because it's a breath attack. Weapon skill damage, relevant. So there you go. Dark Matter Augs can only get you a better, more improved version of this equipment. So you're gonna have Odyssean and/or Valorous in those slots. As you can see, that's what the trend is. For the feat slot, if you're trying to save money, just get the Celevias done because it's weapon skill damage 7. It's best in slot. If you don't have Dark Matter Augs that are better than that, and it's a lot of money to do Dark Matter Augs and a lot of luck. So in this slot, I would say Celevias, hands down. It's got not too much HP, so that's kind of a downside. You could go Valorous for more HP if you had the Dark Matter Aug that had HP, but I've never seen one in the entire game. You could go, maybe like an Odyssean feat? I don't have an Odyssean feat, so my guess is I looked at it and it looked like crap, so I didn't get it. But hey, you know, you could just deal without the extra HP in that slot. You're really looking at the weapon skill damage anyway, and you have to remind yourself that you're adding all of these values together and trying to come up with the best sum, so the individual pieces really don't matter. That's why you see so many different variations on all these different paladins, because they've come up with their best sum given their inventory. So that's basically all I have to say about that. Weapon skill damage is an obvious choice for an ambuscade cape for Paladin. If you're going to do Atonement and you're going to do Savage Blade and things of that nature, then why not? So get the weapon skill damage. It's pretty fucking good, right?